Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a trip, a virtual journey, to a place that's been nicknamed the Pearl of the Indian Ocean, the Teardrop of India, and a bunch of other poetic things that basically mean it's ridiculously beautiful. I'm talking, of course, about Sri Lanka. Now, you might think you know a thing or two about this island nation. Maybe you've had some of its incredible tea, or you've seen pictures of its stunning beaches. But trust me, there's so much more to it than that. Sri Lanka is like that quiet friend who, once they open up, turns out to have lived the most insane, fascinating life you could possibly imagine. So get ready, because we're about to peel back the layers and uncover some truly mind-blowing facts about this country. These aren't your standard run-of-the-mill tourist brochure tidbits. No, we're going deep. We're talking about ancient history, bizarre traditions, and world records you never knew existed. I've dug up 10 facts that genuinely surprised me, and I have a feeling they'll surprise you too. This is the kind of stuff that makes you look at a map and think, wow, I need to know more about that place. And that's where you come in. This is a two-way street, people. As we go through this list, if you're sitting there thinking, hey, he missed the one about the... well, don't just shout at your screen. Get down into those comments and let us all know. Maybe you're from Sri Lanka, maybe you visited, or maybe you're just a geography whiz. Whatever the case, share your knowledge. Let's build the ultimate Sri Lanka fact file together. Ready? Let's get into it. All right, let's start with the classic. Sri Lanka is called the Pearl of the Indian Ocean. Now you hear that and you think, okay, it's pretty, it's shaped kind of like a pearl, I get it. And yes, its natural beauty is a huge part of it. The lush greenery, the pristine beaches, it's a whole vibe. But the nickname is actually deeper than that. For centuries, Sri Lanka was famous for its actual pearls, some of the finest in the world. We're talking ancient Roman and Arab traders making the long journey here just to get their hands on these gems. So it wasn't just a metaphor for being beautiful, it was a literal description of its wealth. It's also called the Teardrop of India because of its shape and location just off the southern coast of the subcontinent, which, I've got to say, is a bit of a tragic name, isn't it? It sounds like India is perpetually sad about something. Oh, what's wrong, India? I don't know, I miss Sri Lanka. But whether you see it as a pearl or a teardrop, both names point to this small island's massive presence and importance in the region for thousands of years. It's a small place that has always punched way above its weight. So, you might know that before it was Sri Lanka, the country was called Ceylon. This is a name that still echoes around the world, mostly on the side of your tea box. But why the change? Well, it's a story of colonialism and independence. The name Ceylon was given to the island by the Portuguese, then adopted by the Dutch, and finally cemented by the British. It was the colonial brand name, if you will. For over 150 years, the British Empire ruled Ceylon, transforming its economy, especially with those massive tea plantations. But in 1972, 24 years after gaining independence from Britain, the country decided it was time for a rebrand, a very significant rebrand. They officially changed the name to Sri Lanka, which means resplendent island in Sanskrit. It was a powerful move, a way of shaking off the colonial past and reclaiming its own identity and ancient heritage. It's like breaking up with someone and not just changing your relationship status, but changing your entire name so they can never find you again. It's a statement. So next time you see Ceylon tea, remember you're sipping a little piece of history. Now this is one of those facts that just breaks your brain a little bit. In the ancient city of Anuradhapura, there is a tree. But this isn't just any tree. This is the Sri Mahabodhi, and it holds the record for being the oldest living tree in the world that was planted by a human. Let that sink in. This sacred fig tree is a sapling from the original Bodhi tree in India, under which Lord Buddha is said to have attained enlightenment. It was brought to Sri Lanka in the 3rd century BC. That's over 2,300 years ago. Think about what that means. This tree was already ancient when the Roman Empire was at its peak. It has been continuously cared for by an unbroken line of guardians for its entire life. It has witnessed the rise and fall of kingdoms, survived droughts, and stood as a silent observer to centuries of human history. Pilgrims from all over the world come to see it, not just as a plant, but as a living, breathing connection to the very foundations of their faith. It's not just a tree, it's a 2,300-year-old monument that's still growing. For a country that's only about the size of West Virginia, Sri Lanka packs an incredible punch when it comes to history and culture. How much of a punch? Well, UNESCO, the world's official authority on this place, is important, has designated not 1, not 2, but 8 World Heritage Sites here. That's an insane concentration of historical significance. You've got ancient cities, sacred temples, and pristine forests all crammed onto one island. It's like a cultural buffet, and everything is a 5-star dish. You have places like the ancient city of Polonnaruwa, with its massive, beautifully preserved ruins of palaces and statues. Then there's the legendary Sigiriya, or Lion Rock, a gigantic rock fortress with a palace built on top. I mean, who looks at a 200-meter-high rock and thinks, you know what would look great up there? A palace. The ambition is just staggering. And these are just 2 of the 8. Each site tells a different chapter of Sri Lanka's epic story, from sacred Buddhist relics in Kandy to the stunning biodiversity of the Sinharaja Forest Reserve. Let's talk about something Sri Lanka is famous for all over the globe: tea. You can't talk about Sri Lanka without talking about Ceylon tea. But here's the fun part. Tea is not native to Sri Lanka, not at all. For centuries, the island's main crop was coffee. But in the 1860s, a disease, a fungus called coffee rust, swept through the island and completely wiped out the coffee industry. It was a total economic catastrophe. The British planters were facing ruin. So what do you do when your cash cow gets sick and dies? You find a new cow. A Scottish planter named James Taylor decided to experiment with a tea plant from Assam, India. He planted the first commercial crop on just 19 acres of land, and it thrived. The climate, the soil, the altitude, it was perfect. That small 19-acre experiment exploded into a global industry. Today, Sri Lanka is one of the world's top tea exporters, and Ceylon tea is a mark of quality, all because of a plant disease and one guy who was willing to try something new. It's a story of disaster, innovation, and a whole lot of caffeine. When you think of a safari, you probably think of the vast plains of Africa. But Sri Lanka offers a safari experience that is completely unique and, in some ways, even more special. This island is one of the best places in the world to see a stunning variety of wildlife in a relatively small area. It's one of the few places on Earth where you can see the planet's largest land mammal, the Asian elephant, and the elusive, powerful leopard in the same national park. That's a pretty exclusive club. Yala National Park, in the southeast, has one of the highest densities of leopards in the world. Spotting one of these magnificent, secretive cats is a truly unforgettable experience. Then you have places like Udawalawe National Park, where seeing huge herds of elephants is almost a guarantee. And it's not just the big guys. There are sloth bears, sambar deer, crocodiles, and an incredible array of bird life, many of which are found nowhere else on Earth. It's a biodiversity hotspot that proves big wonders can come in small packages. In many countries, sports are just a pastime. But in Sri Lanka, cricket is, honestly, more like a religion. It's, without a doubt, the most popular sport here, and it really unites the nation like nothing else. You'll see kids playing cricket in the streets with makeshift bats, on the beaches, in parks, basically anywhere there's a patch of open ground. The passion for the game, well, it runs deep in the country's veins. And this isn't just a casual love affair. Sri Lanka is actually a powerhouse in the world of international cricket. The ultimate moment of glory came back in 1996. The Sri Lankan cricket team, considered the underdogs at the time, went to the Cricket World Cup, and against all odds, they won. They defeated the mighty Australians in the final, using a revolutionary, aggressive style of play that honestly changed the game forever. It was a massive moment of national pride, a real David and Goliath story that put Sri Lanka firmly on the world sporting map. Players like Sanath Jayasuriya and Muttiah Muralitharan became global superstars and national heroes. Cricket in Sri Lanka isn't just a sport, it's a source of identity and, yeah, immense joy. Now, most national flags are, let's be honest, just a few stripes and maybe a star. They're nice, but simple. The Sri Lankan flag, on the other hand, is not simple at all. It's actually one of the oldest and most symbolic flags in the world, and honestly, it looks like it's telling an entire epic story. It's called the lion flag or Sinha flag, and it is just packed with meaning. The main feature is a golden lion holding a sword, which represents the bravery of the Sinhalese people, who are the majority ethnic group. But the flag also tells a story of unity. The four corners of the crimson background have leaves from the bo tree, that same sacred tree we talked about earlier, representing the four Buddhist virtues. And then, to the side of the lion panel, you've got two vertical stripes, a green one and a saffron one. These were added to the flag later to represent the country's two largest minorities. The green stripe stands for the Muslim Moors, and the saffron stripe stands for the Hindu Tamils. So the entire flag is really a visual representation of the nation's ideal different communities living together under one banner. It's like a history lesson on a piece of cloth. Building on the story of the flag, Sri Lanka is truly a melting pot. It's a multi-ethnic, multi-religious, and multilingual society, which just makes its culture incredibly rich and layered. The majority of the population are the Sinhalese, who are predominantly Buddhist, but there's also a very large and ancient community of Tamils, who are mostly Hindu and have their own distinct language, culture, and traditions, mainly concentrated in the northern and eastern parts of the island. Then you've got the Sri Lankan Moors, who are descendants of Arab traders who settled here centuries ago, and they practice Islam. There are also the Burghers, who are descendants of European colonists, Portuguese, Dutch, and British, and a small community of indigenous people known as the Veda. All these groups have contributed their own spices to the cultural stew. You see it in the food, you hear it in the languages spoken on the street, and you see it in the diverse array of religious festivals celebrated throughout the year. It's a complex, beautiful, and sometimes challenging mosaic. Around the world, most people celebrate New Year's on January 1st. You know, the drill countdowns, fireworks, resolutions you'll probably forget by February. But in Sri Lanka, the biggest party of the year actually happens in the middle of April. It's known as Aluth Avuruda in Sinhala and Puttandu in Tamil. And it marks the traditional New Year for both the Sinhalese and Tamil communities. It's a harvest festival, celebrating the end of one agricultural cycle and the beginning of another. And honestly, the traditions are amazing. It's not just a one-night party, it's a multi-day affair that's all governed by auspicious times determined by astrologers. There are specific times for lighting the first fire of the new year, for the first meal, and even for the first transaction. Families get together, homes are cleaned, and special foods called kavum and kokis are made. But here's the best part, the games. They have all these traditional outdoor games like climbing a greased pole, pillow fights on a log, and even a beauty contest to crown a New Year's prince and princess. It's a celebration that's deeply rooted in tradition, community, and just having a really good time. And there you have it. 10 things that I hope have shown you a side of Sri Lanka you may not have known before. From a single tree that's lived for over 2 millennia to a flag that tells a story of unity and a New Year's party that happens in April. This island is just overflowing with history, culture, and incredible stories. It's really a testament to the fact that you should never judge a place by its size on a map. There are entire worlds hidden in these small corners of our planet, just waiting to be explored. Sri Lanka is, without a doubt, one of the most fascinating. I genuinely hope this has sparked some curiosity in you. This journey we took was just a quick peek through the keyhole. There's a whole universe of wonders on the other side of the door. The real magic happens when you start digging for yourself, or better yet, when you get to experience it firsthand. The culture, the food, the unbelievably warm and welcoming people. It's something that stays with you forever. I know we only scratched the surface with these 10 facts. So now it's your turn. Thank you so much for joining me on this trip. I want to know which of these facts blew your mind the most. Was it the story of Ceylon tea, the 8 UNESCO sites? Let me know down in the comments. And if you have another amazing fact about Sri Lanka, please share it with our community. If you enjoyed this journey and want to explore more incredible places and stories from around the world, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss where we're going next. Until then, stay curious.